So if you're watching this video, you obviously have some sort of digestive issue, or maybe someone you know has a digestive problem, and you're looking to get to the bottom of it. Maybe you're someone with an autoimmune disease and you've heard or you know that these autoimmune diseases like psoriasis, like rheumatoid arthritis, all these different types, there's so many of them now, that these autoimmune diseases go back to digestion, and maybe that's been something that's a problem for you. And so this video really will help you see the difference of what you're gonna get when you go to the medical model of care for digestion, and then what you're gonna get if you do a more natural route. My goal for this video is to teach you how do you get your digestive system back in balance. So whether it's constipation, which is a very, very common thing now, and a lot of times constipation is the only symptom patients have coming in, and I'm gonna walk you through what we do with them, how we're able to help them, some really cool stories of younger patients and older patients for constipation that just some of the simplest things that we did really made a huge difference for them. And then also things like irritable bowel syndrome. You know, I personally had that years ago when I was younger, and a lot of the stuff that I did a lot of stuff that I'm going to teach you today are the things that I did as well to help with it, okay? And it's not just diet, there's a whole lot more to that actually. And so let's dive into this. Let's talk about constipation first, and kind of the idea, just so you know, if you're constipated or if you know someone that's constipated, what that ultimately means is that your digestive system isn't moving, right? Whether it's not breaking the food down by digestive enzymes properly, or hydrochloric acid is out of alignment, so your stomach acid's out of alignment, or the actual motility of the GI tract has been slowed, it ultimately means that things just aren't going through. Right? That makes sense. Now, if you go to your doctor, they're typically going to do something to just get it moving through. Not necessarily to get your body functioning back again to where it's moving it through, but just get it moving through. So they're going to give you some sort of like a stool softener or something like that. One of the first stories I want to tell you about is a patient. Her name's Sarah, and she's young, she's about 6 years old. She came to us a while back, and her biggest issue was digestion, right? She didn't have any pain, she didn't have any other symptoms really other than, some fatigue and things, but her digestive problems are really what were causing the most issues. And she was to the point where she wouldn't even use the restroom for most weeks. She would go multiple weeks without using the restroom. She had been to the hospital twice in her 6 years of life to actually get cleared out because her body was not getting rid of poop. That's really a big deal, because here's the thing, it's not just it's uncomfortable, it's obviously unhealthy, but what does that look like down the road? Well, that looks like ulcerative colitis, that looks like colon cancer, that looks like even heart disease, because we know that a lot of our GI tract health goes back to our overall cardiovascular health. That looks like all kinds of other health issues that she's going to be dealing with throughout her life if she doesn't figure out not only how to get the poop moving, but why it's not moving in the first place. And there's one main thing that all digestive issues have in common, and it actually isn't in the gut, it's actually in the nervous system. Remember, our nervous system, our central nervous system, our brain is in a constant feedback system with our environment. So, it's our skin, our eyes, our ears, it's thinking about what's happening on the outside. Our joints, believe it or not, every joint in our body has receptors to send signals back to our brain to say, here's what you need to do in this environment, okay? When the joints become dysfunctioned, right? When the skin has issues feeling, things like that, it actually retrains the brain and it puts it into a stress response. So stressors like physical stress, chemical stress, and emotional stress, I talk about these all the time, but these three stressors right there are what is actually going to cause your digestive problems. Now, when the digestive system doesn't work long enough, then you start to have other specific GI tract problems like microbiome being out of alignment, stomach acid being messed up, things like that. But our brain and our central nervous system is trained to receive information from the environment and say, okay, that is a stressor. I need to put my body into an autonomic, what they call a sympathetic nervous system response in order to survive this stressor. If that makes sense. And inflammation is released, our immune response kicks into gear, cortisol is released, all these things happen. Our heart rate can go up, our blood pressure can actually go up in this state, cholesterol can actually higher in this state as well, hormones make a shift, and so there's a whole process our body's going through. But guess what doesn't happen in this state? Our body isn't digesting food. Our body is actually made to slow down digestion in this state because it isn't necessary when we're trying to survive an attack or we're trying to survive some sort of a stressor in the moment. Now, in a good situation, we're going to pull ourselves out of that stressor and our body's going to come back to balance. What's happening in someone that's constipated, or even like irritable bowel syndrome and things like that, is the body is stuck in a stressed response. And yes, that can happen at birth. It's crazy how many little babies come into us that haven't pooped in a week and a half. It's even crazier how many doctors tell their patients that that's normal, but it's not normal. But they come into us and we start adjusting their spine. We actually work on the nervous system. So I'm not going to get into that yet. But so we got Sarah. She's constipated. She's been that way for 6 years. She's cleared out. She's been on my Miralax. I'm sorry. I don't even look at these meds much anymore. But point is that she was on this every day just so she can use the restroom. Now, here's what we did. So when she goes to her primary care doctor, they say, okay, you're not pooping. We need to get you pooping. What do we have in our toolbox? Well, they give her stool softeners, and eventually they took her to the hospital to flush it out. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing. She's not pooping, but I'm not going to say, what can I do to get you pooping? I'm going to say, why is your body not pooping? Okay? Let me see how many times I can say pooping in this video. I say, why is your body not doing that? And the answer to the question of why the body isn't doing it is because it's out of balance. There's interference somewhere in this feedback loop that's causing this. And I know that that physical stress, the chemical stress, and the emotional stress are all going to play a role. So I'm going to start asking questions. So we say, okay, what was her birth like? Was it traumatic? Was it physically traumatic on the body? First answer, yes. She had a C-section. It was really hard getting her out. And so there's a lot of twisting, a lot of pulling, a lot of pressure into the spine, into the nervous system. And so from day one, she was stuck in that place. She was very colicky as well, which we know goes back to the nervous system. And so that was first step. Second is, okay, what's her life like? Well, it seems pretty good. Not seemingly too many emotional stresses other than, the normal things. And so we kind of, what does her diet look like? Well, she'll eat whatever she can, so it's not a great diet either. So we started to look at that. The first thing I did is I did a spinal evaluation on her. And, as a chiropractor, a lot of you, think of me as a nutrition doctor and things like that. And I work with, functional medicine and things like that. But I would tell you that the number one place I look first is how well the nervous system is balanced. And when you have your spine, you have different segments of your spine that aren't moving properly. It literally messes up the signal to the brain. It creates a stress response, and it can put the body into a constipation state. The number one place I see issues with is right here in the top part of the neck. And I love working with kids with this because they're the ones that respond really, really quickly. Adults sometimes do too, but kids, it can be 1 or 2 adjustments to the top part of their neck, in the atlas area, and even in the lower back area on the nerves that go to the GI tract. And you'll see miraculous change. It's really cool. So we did an evaluation with her. I took x-rays of her spine. She had multiple areas of her spine that were subluxated or fixated, not moving properly. The main one was in the upper part of her neck. We started. I adjusted her, 6 years old. Okay, it's not a crazy spinning and twisting like you see on TikTok, but I adjusted her spine, and that day she went home and she pooped. And she started coming to us 3 times a week in the beginning, and now she's down to about once a week. And every single time I adjust her, she poops. She goes every day to the restroom. She doesn't take any medications for pooping anymore. Her GI tract's clearing out. That was just from getting adjusted. So that is the number one thing. If somebody with digestive problems comes to me, I start out with that. So if you're near me, come to us. But if you're somewhere else, find somebody who will check the upper part of your neck. Will start to get your nervous system in balance. The way that works is we move the joint and the proprioceptors, the signals to the brain, start to balance out. It takes the body out of the stress response, and it will start to heal and digest food again. Now, the second layer of that. So first, we work with the nervous system. Second is we say, okay, how can we support digestion? So number one, well, what's the first part of digestion? Chewing. So we make sure that the patient is actually chewing their food good. And number 2 is the types of food that they're eating. So we walk them through what are the foods that are easiest to digest in your body. I have a gut healing diet that I've given a lot of people over the years on YouTube here. And if you want that, let me know. I'll send you the PDF for it. But that gut healing diet is the easiest foods to digest in the human body. Okay. We also do things like food allergy tests to see what her body doesn't like. Second step of digestion is, it goes down here, enzymes hit it as you're in your saliva. So you want to make sure those are balanced, but then it hits your stomach and it hits stomach acid. Ideally, you have a good level of stomach acid. Now, most people, because of being in high stress, somebody that's constipated for many years or had major digestive issues for many years is going to have stomach acid issues most likely, okay? We typically, if you have lower issues, you usually have upper issues. It usually starts up high. And so we got to balance the stomach acid. So there's certain supplements we do for that. First, minimal or simplest way is we have people do apple cider vinegar and water twice a day. If that doesn't seem to be enough, we have them take betaine HCl. I have a supplement by Thorne called Advanced Digestive Enzymes, and that's actually my favorite one because it has hydrochloric acid, but also has other digestive enzymes that are very important, as well as as well as ox bile, I'm sorry, as well as bile that helps break down the fat. Okay, and they'll take that right after their meal. It just really assures, especially someone in a therapeutic place where they're trying to digest food better and they need to use the restroom again, it makes sure that they're breaking those foods down. Remember, the stomach acid is to break down food and to kill off bacteria, viruses, things like that. The next step is we say, okay, what other herbs can we use to help motility of the GI tract? So things like ginger, things that help just calm the stress response like ashwagandha, rhodiola, cordyceps, things that are just helping flush things out in a good place but calming the nervous system as well, okay? And then we say, okay, another big thing that can slow digestion is if your electrolytes are out of balance. Now electrolytes, go back and watch the video I did, it's probably about a year ago, on electrolytes. This is really cool. Remember, it's electro, so it's electrical light, okay? Your nervous system is simply like electricity and it runs by these electrolytes. This is really cool. Sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, all these things help run the nervous system. If you're depleted in there, it now depresses or reduces the effect of your nervous system function. And so we got to have good electrolyte balances. In our world today, especially with the soils that have been beaten up, our food is very low in a lot of the minerals that we need, and that's what runs our nervous system. If you have too high or too low of calcium, you're going to notice the heart muscles, the actual, your arm muscles, leg muscles. Too low potassium, that's where we get cramping. So electrolytes are really important too. So if somebody is constipated or somebody's having digestive issues, I'm always going to add in some sort of an electrolyte mix, okay? And there's a lot of good ones out there. Redmond sea salt is really good. That's very effective. You just want to make it simple. Element is LMNT, is a really good electrolyte mix as well. But yeah, so that helps balance that out. And sometimes we even take it to a next level by doing magnesium, because that's one of the main minerals that we have found to cause more constipation. And that's one of the things that most people are deficient in is magnesium. And so we'll do some sort of magnesium glycinate or magnesium citrate. And that can be very effective too, to just get the body moving in motility. Okay, and so we take those supplements and now we say, okay, we got the herbs, we got some different electrolytes that is going to help. We're eating good, we're following something like a gut healing diet, we're getting chiropractic care, the nervous system's help, we're helping balance the nervous system out. If all those things are happening and we're still slow, we're still in a place where it's not quite moving in the right direction, then we're going to say, okay, what else can we do to balance the nervous system? Because we know that goes back to it. It's just physiology. It's just how our body works. If your nervous system is balanced, you're going to digest food. Okay, so then we say, okay, what are some other therapies we can do? What are some other things we can do to balance the nervous system? One, making sure that we're getting enough sleep at night. Although, if our nervous system is out of alignment, a lot of times it's hard to sleep. But getting to bed on time, getting to bed before 9 o'clock or before 10 o'clock, sleeping in 8 to 9 hours of rest a night, making sure the room is nice and dark and completely black with blackout curtains, making sure your Wi-Fi isn't right next to your room. I always talk about putting it on a timer. I just had a patient today, actually, Rebecca, I hope she watches this. She got a Harmony bracelet. Okay, so these are these little bracelets here that block electromagnetic frequencies. And she's like, she did that 5 days ago, and finally she's sleeping all through the night. She lives in a complex where there's Wi-Fi everywhere around her, and that was a part of what was keeping her cells too active, her nervous system too stressed to get good sleep. Pretty cool. So looking at EMF protection, and then look at the stuff you can do at home as well, like go outside, get barefooted. Walk outside barefooted, calm, and balance your nervous system with grounding. Look at the sun. Go outside to the sun barefooted, humming, and that with your tongue at the top of your mouth helps balance the vagus nerve. You can do things like infrared saunas are really effective as well. And I could name a whole list of other different things you could do. But really do this. I say the easiest way is just research the vagus nerve response and the parasympathetic nervous system and techniques you can do to balance it. Things like mindful meditation, right? Google mindful meditation and start to deep dive into that. And these are always, and sometimes for kids, a 6-year-old, not really going to meditate, but you can take them outside barefooted. We can take them outside into the sun. We can sit in an infrared sauna with them. We can do different things like that. We can make sure that they practice breathing techniques to balance the nervous system. And so that's it. That's the big picture of it. If you do all those things and you're still having digestive issues, then we need to get deep dive, try to maybe do a stool test if that's possible, or look even more into the nutritional aspect of it or the emotional aspect of it, right? Maybe it's getting some counseling if there's too many high emotional stresses, or maybe it's just time. Maybe it's just time until your body heals itself. So I hope that was helpful, guys. I've worked with a ton of patients with constipation, and it was really become one of the big things we're known for in our clinic. You know, I know I talk a lot on YouTube about psoriasis, and the truth is that psoriasis really is a gut and nervous system issue. If we can get the gut and nervous system balanced, the immune response works fine, and we don't have psoriasis anymore. We don't have eczema. We don't have all these other autoimmune diseases when we have a good, healthy digestive system. Okay, so if you know someone or you're someone that has constipation or other digestive issues like acid reflux, irritable bowel syndrome, things like ulcerative colitis, share this video with them. I can promise you, if they do all those things I told you on there, they're going to get healthier, and good likelihood they're actually going to see good change with their constipation and digestive issues as well.